Act 4, Scene 1. Outside the walls of Athens. Enter Timon.
Let me look back upon thee. Oh, thou wall that girdles in these wolves, dive in the earth and fence not Athens. Matrons, turn incontinent, obedience fail in children. Slaves and fools pluck the grave, wrinkled senate from the bench and minister in their steads. To general filths convert, the instant green virginity. Do it in your parents' eyes. Bankrupts, hold fast. Rather than render back, out with your knives and cut your trusters' throats. Bound servants, steal. Large-handed robbers your grave masters are, and pill by law. Maid, to thy master's bed. Thy mistress is o' the brothel. Son of 16, pluck the lined crutch from my old limping sire, with it beat out his brains. Piety and fear, religion to the gods, peace, justice, truth, domestic awe, night rest and neighborhood, instruction, manners, mysteries, trades, degrees, observances, customs, and laws decline to your confounding contraries, and yet confusion live. Plagues, incidents to men, your potent and infectious fevers heap on Athens ripe for stroke. Thou cold sciatica, cripple our senators, that their limbs may halt as lamely as their manners. Lust and liberty creep in the minds and marrows of our youth, that against the stream of virtue they may strive and drown themselves in riot. Itches, blains, sow all the Athenian bosoms, and their crop be general leprosy. Breath, infect breath, that their society as their friendship may be merely poison. Nothing I'll bear from thee but nakedness, thou detestable town. Take thou that too, with multiplying bands. Timon will to the woods, where she'll find the unkindness beast, more kinder than mankind. The gods confound. Hear me, you good gods all. The Athenians both within and out that wall, and grant, as Timon grows, his hate may grow to the whole race of mankind, high and low. Amen.
Act 4, Scene 2. Athens. A room in Timon's house. Enter Flavius with other servants.
Hear you, Master Steward. Where's our master? Are we undone? Cast off? Nothing remaining?
Alack, my fellows, what should I say to you? Let me be recorded by the righteous gods. I am as poor as you.
Such a house broke? So noble a master fallen, all gone, and not one friend to take his fortune by the arm and go along with him?
As we do turn our backs for our companion thrown into his grave, so his familiars to his buried fortunes slink all away, leave their false vows with him, like empty purses picked, and his poor self, a dedicated beggar to the air, with his diseased of all shunned poverty, walks like contempt, alone. More of our fellows.
All broken implements of a ruined house.
Yet do our hearts wear Timon's livery, that see eye by our faces. We are fellows still, serving alike in sorrow. Leaked is our bark, and we, poor mates, stand on the dying deck, hearing the surge's threat. We must all part into this sea of air.
Good fellows all, the latest of my wealth I'll share amongst you. Whenever we shall meet for Timon's sake, let's yet be fellows. Let's shake our heads and say, as 'twere a knell unto our master's fortune. We have seen better days. Let each take some. Nay, put out your hands. Not one word more. Thus part we rich in sorrow, parting poor. Oh, the fierce wretchedness that glory brings us. Who would not wish to be from wealth exempt? Some riches point to misery and some contempt. Who would be so mocked with glory, or to live but in a dream of friendship? To have this pomp and all what state compounds, but only painted like varnished friends. Poor honest Lord, brought low by his own heart, undone by goodness. Strange, unusual blood, when man's worst sin is he who does too much good. Who then dares to be half as kind again? For bounty that makes gods do still mar men. My dearest Lord, blessed to be most accursed, wretched only to be wretched. Thy great fortunes are made by chief afflictions. Alas, kind Lord, he's flung in rage from this ingrateful seat of monstrous friends. Nor has he with him to supply his life, or that which can command it. I'll follow and inquire him out. I'll ever serve his mind with my best will. Whilst I have gold, I'll be his servant still.
Act 4, Scene 3. A cave in the woods near the seashore. Enter Timon with a spade.
Oh, blessed breeding sun, draw from the earth rot and humidity. Below thy sister's orb, infect the air. Twinned brothers of one womb, whose procreation, residence, and birth scarce is divided, and touch them with several fortunes, the greater scorns the lesser. Not nature, to whom all sores lay siege, can bear great fortune, but by contempt of nature. Raise me this beggar, and knight that lord. The senator shall bear contempt hereditary, the beggar native honor. It is the pasture large the brother's sides, the want that makes him lean. Who dares, in purity of manhood, stand upright and say, this man's a flatterer? If one be, so are they all. And for every grease of fortune is smoothed by that below. The learned pate ducks to the golden fool. All's obloquy. There's nothing level in our cursed natures but direct villainy. Therefore be abhorred all feasts, societies, and throngs of men. His semblable, yea, himself, Timon disdains, destruction fang mankind. Earth, yield me roots! Who seeks for better of thee? Sauce his palate with thy most operant poison. What is here? Gold. Yellow, glittering, precious gold. No gods, I am no idle votarist. Roots! Ye clear heavens? Thus much of this will make black white, foul fair, wrong right, base, noble, old, young, coward, valiant. Ha! You gods. Why this? What this, you gods? Why this will lug your priests and servants from your sides, pluck stout men's pillows from below their heads? This yellow slave. will knit and break religions, bless the accursed, make the whore leprosy adored, place thieves and give them title, knee, and approbation with senators on the bench. This is it that makes the wapping widow wed again. She whom the spittle-house and ulcerous sores would cast the gorge at, this embalms and spices to the April day again. Come, damned earth, thou common whore of mankind that puts odds among the rout of nations, I will make thee do thy right nature. Ha! A drum! Thou art quick, but yet I'll bury thee. Thou'lt go, strong thief, when gouty keepers of thee cannot stand. Nay, stay thou out for earnest.
What art thou there? Speak.
At least, as thou art. The canker gnaw thy heart for showing me again the eyes of man.
What is thy name? Is man so hateful to thee that art thyself a man?
I am misanthropos, and hate mankind. For thy part, I do wish thou wert a dog, that I might love thee something.
I know thee well, but in thy fortunes am unlearned and strange.
Well, I know thee too. And more than that, I know thee I not desire to know. Follow thy drum. With man's blood paint the ground jewels, jewels. Religious canons, civil laws are cruel. Then what should war be? This fell whore of thine hath in her more destruction than thy sword, for all her cherubin look.
My lips rot off.
I will not kiss thee. Then the rot returns to thine own lips again.
How came the noble Timon to this change?
As the moon does, by wanting light to give. But then renew I could not, like the moon. There were no suns to borrow of.
Noble Timon, what friendship may I do thee?
Well, none. But to maintain my opinion.
What is it, Timon?
Promise me friendship, but perform none. If thou wilt not promise, the gods plague thee, for thou art a man. If thou dost perform, confound thee, for thou art a man.
I have heard in some sort of thy miseries.
Well, thou sawest them when I had prosperity.
I see them now. Then was a blessed time.
As thine is now, held with a brace of harlots.
Is this the Athenian minion whom the world voiced so regardfully?
Art thou Timandra?
Yes.
Well, be a whore still. They love thee not that use thee. Give them diseases, leaving with thee their lust. Make use of thy salt hours, season the slaves for tubs and baths. Bring down rose-cheeked youth to the tub fast and the diet.
Hang thee, monster.
Pardon him, sweet Timandra, for his wits are drowned and lost in his calamities. I have but little gold of late, brave Timon, the want whereof doth daily make revolt in my penurious band. I have heard and grieved how cursed Athens, mindless of thy worth, forgetting thy great deeds when neighbor states, but for thy sword and fortune trod upon them.
I prithee, beat thy drum and begone.
I am thy friend and pity thee, dear Timon.
How dost thou pity him whom thou dost trouble? I'd rather be alone.
Why, fare thee well. Here is some gold for thee.
Well, keep it. I cannot eat it.
When I have laid proud Athens on a heap.
Warrest thou against Athens?
Aye, Timon, and have cause.
The gods confound them all in thy conquest, and thee after, when thou hast conquered.
Why me, Timon?
Well, that by killing of villains thou wast born to conquer my country. Put up thy gold, go on. Here's gold, go on. Be as a planetary plague when Jove will o'er some high vice city hang his poison in the sick air. Let not thy sword skip one. Pity not honored age for his white beard, he is an usurer. Strike me, the counterfeit matron. It is her habit only that is honest, herself's a bawd. Let not the virgin's cheek make soft thy trenchant sword, for those milk paps that through the window bars bore at men's eyes are not within the leaf of pity writ, but set them down. Horrible traitors. Spare not the babe, whose dimpled smiles from fools exhaust their mercy. Think it a bastard, whom the oracle hath doubtfully pronounced the throat shall cut and mince it sans remorse. Swear against objects, put armour on thine eyes, and on thine eyes whose proof nor yells of mothers, maids, nor babes, nor sight of priests in holy vestments bleeding shall pierce a jot. There's gold to pay the soldiers. Make large confusion, and thy fury spent, confounded, be thyself. Speak not. Be gone.
Hast thou gold yet? I'll take the gold thou givest to me, not all thy counsel.
Dost thou or dost thou not? Heaven's curse upon thee!
Give us some gold, good Timon. Hast thou more?
Enough to make a whore forswear her trade, and to make whores a bawd. Hold up, you sluts, your aprons mountant. You are not oathable, although I know you'll swear, terribly swear, into strong shudders and to heavenly agues, the immortal gods that hear you. Spare your oaths. I'll trust your conditions. Be whores still. And he whose pious breath seeks to convert you, be strong in whore. Allure him. Burn him up. Let your close fire predominate his smoke, and be no turncoats. Yet may your pains 6 months be quite contrary, and thatch your poor thin roofs with burdens of the dead. Some that were hanged. No matter. Wear them. Betray with them. Whore still. Paint till a horse may mire upon your face a pox of wrinkles.
Well, more gold. What then? Believes that we'll do anything for gold.
Consumption so and hollow bones of man. Strike their sharp shins and mar men's spurring. Crack the lawyer's voice that he may never more false title plead, nor sound his quillet shrilly. Whore the flamen that scolds against the quality of flesh and not believes himself. Down with the nose, down with it flat. Take the bridge quite away of him that his particular to foresee smells from the general weal. Make curled pate ruffians bald, and let the unscarred braggarts of the war derive some pain from you. Plague all, that your activity may defeat and quell the source of all erection. There's more gold. Do you damn others, and let this damn you, and ditches grave you all.
More counsel with more money, bounteous Timon.
More whore, more mischief first. I have given you earnest.
Strike up the drum towards Athens. Farewell, Timon. If I thrive well, I'll visit thee again.
If I hope well, I'll never see thee more.
I never did thee harm.
Yes, thou spokest well of me.
Call'st thou that harm?
Men daily find it. Get thee away. Take thy beagles with thee.
We but offend him. Strike!
That nature, being sick of man's unkindness, should yet be hungry. Common mother, thou, whose womb unmeasurable and infinite breast teems and feeds all, whose self-same metal, whereof thy proud child, arrogant man, is puffed, engenders the black toad and adder blue, the gilded newt and eyeless venomed worm, with all the abhorred births below crisp heaven, whereupon Hyperion's quickening fire doth shine. Yield him who all thy human sons do hate, from forth thy plenteous bosom one poor root. and sear thy fertile and conceptious womb. Let it no more bring out ingrateful man. Go great with tigers, dragons, wolves, and bears, teem with new monsters, whom thy upward face hath to the marbled mansion all above never presented. Oh, a root! Dear thanks. Dry up thy marrows, vines, and plough-torn lees, whereof ingrateful man with liquorish draughts and morsels unctuous greases his pure mind, and from it all consideration slips. More man, plague, plague!
I was directed hither. Men report thou dost affect my manners, and dost use them.
'Tis then because thou dost not keep a dog. Whom would I imitate? Consumption catch thee.
This is in thee a nature but infected. A poor unmanly melancholy sprung from change of future. Why this spade, this place, this slave-like habit, and these looks of care? Thy flatterers yet wear silk, drink wine, lie soft, hug their diseased perfumes, and have forgot that ever Timon was. Shame not these woods by putting on the cunning of a carper. Be thou a flatterer now, and seek to thrive by that which has undone thee. Hinge thy knee, and let his very breath whom thou'lt observe blow off thy cap. Praise his most vicious strain, and call it excellent. Thou wast told thus. Thou gavest thine ears, like tapsters that bade welcome to knaves and all approachers. 'Tis most just that thou should turn rascal. Hadst thou wealth again, rascals should have it. Do not assume my likeness.
Were I like thee, I'd throw myself away.
Ha! Thou'st cast away thyself, being like thyself, a madman so long, now a fool. What? Think'st thou that the bleak air, thy boisterous chamberlain, will put thy shirt on warm? Will these moist trees that have outlived the eagle page thy heels and skip when thou point'st out? The cold brook, candied with ice, coddle thy morning taste, and to cure thy o'ernight surfeit. Call the creatures whose naked natures live in all the spite of wreakful heaven, whose bare unhoused trunks to the conflicting elements exposed answer mere nature. Bid them flatter thee. Ha! Thou shalt find.
A fool of thee, depart.
I love thee better than now than e'er I did.
I hate thee worse.
Why?
Thou flatterest misery.
I flatter not, but say thou art a caitiff.
Why dost thou seek me out?
To vex thee.
Always a villain's office, or a fool's. Dost please thyself in't?
Aye.
What? A knave, too.
If thou didst put this sour, cold habit on to castigate thy pride, 'twere well. Thou dost it enforcedly. Thou'st courtier be again, wert thou not beggar. Willing misery outlives incertain pomp, is crowned before. The one is filling still, never complete. The other, at high wish, best date, contentless, hath a distracted and most wretched being, worse than the worst, content. Thou shouldst desire to die, being miserable.
Not by his breath that is more miserable. Thou art a slave whom fortune's tender arm with favour never clasped, but bred a dog. Hadst thou, like us from our first slave, proceeded the sweet degrees that this brief world affords to such as may the passive drugs of it freely command, thou wouldst have plunged thyself in general riot. melted down thy youth in different beds of lust, and never learned the icy precepts of respect, but followed the sugared game before thee. For myself, who had the world as my confectionery? The mouths, the tongues, the eyes and hearts of men, at duty more than I could frame employment, that numberless upon me stuck as leaves do on the oak, have with one winter's brush fell from their boughs and left me open, bare, for every storm that blows. I, to bear this, that never knew but better, is some burden. Thy nature did commence in sufferance. Time hath made thee hardened. Why shouldst thou hate men? They never flattered thee. What hast thou given? If thou wilt curse, thy father, that poor rag, must be thy subject, who, in spite, put stuff to some she-beggar, and compounded thee, poor rogue, hereditary. Hence, begone, if thou hadst not been born the worst of men, thou hadst been a knave and a flatterer.
Art thou proud yet?
Aye, that I am not thee.
I? That I was no prodigal?
I, that I am one now. Were all the wealth I have shut up in thee, I'd give thee leave to hang it. Get thee gone. The whole life of Athens were in this. Thus would I eat it.
Here. I'll mend thy feast.
First, mend my company. Take away thyself.
So I shall mend mine by the lack of thine.
'Tis not well mended so. It is but botched. If not, I would it were.
What wouldst thou have to Athens?
Thee thither in a whirlwind. If thou wilt, tell them there I have gold. Look, so I have.
Here is no use for gold.
The best and truest, for here it sleeps and does no hired harm.
Where lies the nights, Timon?
Under that's above me. Where feedst thou a days, Epimantis?
Where my stomach finds meat, or rather where I can eat it.
Would poison were obedient and knew my mind.
Where wouldst thou send it?
To sauce thy dishes.
The middle of humanity thou never knewest, but the extremity of both ends. When thou wast in thy guilt in thy perfume, they mocked thee for too much curiosity. In thy rags thou know'st none, but art despised for the contrary. There's a meddler for thee, eat it.
On what I hate, I feed not.
Dost thou haste a meddler?
Aye, that would look like thee.
And thou hadst hatest meddlers soon, thou shouldst have loved thyself better now. What man didst thou ever know unthrift that was beloved after his means?
Who, without those means thou talkst of, didst thou ever know beloved?
Myself?
I understand thee. Thou hadst some means to keep a dog.
What things in the world canst thou nearest compare to thy flatterers?
Women nearest, but men. Men are the things themselves. What wouldst thou do with the world, Epimantis, if it lay in thy power?
Give it to the beasts, to be rid of the men.
Wouldst thou have thyself fall in the confusion of men and remain a beast with the beasts?
Aye, Timon.
A beastly ambition, which the gods grant thee to attain to. If thou wert the lion, the fox would beguile thee. If thou wert the lamb, the fox would eat thee. If thou wert the fox, the lion would suspect thee when peradventure thou wert accused by the ass. If thou wert the ass, thy dullness would torment thee, and still thou liv'dst but as a breakfast to the wolf. If thou wert the wolf, thy greediness would afflict thee, and oft thou shouldst hazard thy life for thy dinner. Wert thou the unicorn, pride and wrath would confound thee, and make thine own self the conquest of thy fury. Wert thou a bear, thou wouldst be killed by the horse. Wert thou a horse, thou wouldst be seized by the leopard. Wert thou a leopard, thou wert germain to the lion, and the spots of thy kindred were jurors on thy life. All thy safety were remotion, and thy defence absence. What beast couldst thou be that were not subject to a beast? And what a beast art thou already that seest not thy loss in transformation?
If thou couldst please me with speaking to me, thou mightst have hit upon it here. The Commonwealth of Athens has become a forest of beasts.
How? Has the ass broke the wall that thou art out of the city?
Yonder comes a poet and a painter. The plague of company light upon thee. I will fear to catch it and give way. When I know what not else to do, I'll see thee again.
When there is nothing living but thee, thou shalt be welcome. I had rather be a beggar's dog than Apomantus.
Thou art the cap of all the fools alive.
Would thou wert clean enough to spit upon.
Plague upon thee! Thou art too bad to curse.
All villains that do stand by thee are pure.
There is no leprosy but what thou speakst.
If I named thee, I'll beat thee, but I should infect my hands.
Oh, thy tongue could rot him off.
Away, thou issue of a mangy dog! Choler does kill me that thou art alive. I swoon to see thee.
Wouldst thou would burst?
Away, you tedious rogue. I am sorry I shall lose a stone by thee.
Come on! Beast.
Slave.
Toad.
Rogue, rogue, rogue. I am sick of this false world and will love naught but even the mere necessities of punt. Then, Timon, presently prepare thy grave. Lie where the light foam of the sea may beat thy gravestone daily. Make thine epitaph, that death in me at others' lives may laugh. Thou sweet king-killer and dear divorce, twixt natural son and sire, thou bright defiler of Hymen's purest bed, thou valiant Mars, thou ever young, fresh, loved, and delicate wooer, whose blush doth thaw the consecrated snow that lies on Dian's lap, thou visible god, that solderest close impossibilities and makes them kiss, that speakest with every tongue to every purpose. O thou touch of hearts, think thy slave, man, rebels, and by thy virtue set them into confounding odds that beasts may have the world in empire.
Would 'twere so, but not till I am dead. I'll say thou scold. Thou wilt be wronged too shortly.
Wrong to?
Aye.
Lie back, I prithee.
Live and love thy misery.
Long live so, and so die. I'm quit.
More things like men. Eat, Timon, and abhor them.
Where should he have his gold? It is some poor fragment, some slender ort, or his remainder. The mere want of gold and falling from of his friends drove him into this melancholy.
It is noised he hath a mass of treasure.
Let us make the assay upon him. If he care not for it, he will supply us easily. If he covetously reserve it, how shallst get it?
True, for he bears it not about him. 'Tis hid.
Is not this he?
Where? 'Tis his description.
I know him.
Save thee.
Save thee, Timon.
Now, thieves.
Soldiers.
Not thieves.
Both, too, and women's sons.
We are not thieves, but men that much do want.
Your greatest want is you want much of meat. Why should you want? Behold, the earth hath roots. Within this mile break forth 100 springs. The oaks bear mast, the briars scarlet hips. The bounteous housewife nature on each bush lays her full mess before you. Want? Why want?
We cannot live on grass, on berries, water, as beasts and birds and fishes.
Nor on the beasts themselves, the birds and fishes. You must eat men. Yet thanks I must you call that you are thieves professed, that you work not in holier shapes, for there is boundless theft in limited professions. Rascal thieves! Here's gold. Go. Go, suck the subtle blood of the grape till the high fever seethe your blood to froth, and so scape hanging. Trust not the physician. His antidotes are poison, and he slays more than you rob. Take wealth and lives together. Do villainy, do, since you protest to do it, like workmen. I'll example you with thievery. The sun's a thief. With his great attraction robs the vast sea. The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun. The sea's a thief, whose liquid surge resolves the moon into salt tears. The earth's a thief, that feeds and breeds by a composture stolen from general excrement. Each thing's a thief. The laws, your curb and whip, in their rough power has unchecked theft. Love not yourselves away! Rob one another, there's more gold. Cutthroats! All that you meet are thieves. To Athens. Go. Break open shops. Nothing can you steal, but thieves do lose it. Steal less, for this I give you, and gold confound you howsoever. Amen.
It's almost turned me from my profession by persuading me to it.
'Tis in the malice of mankind that he thus advises us, not to have us thrive in our mystery.
I'll believe him as an enemy and give over my trade.
Let us first see peace in Athens. There is no time so miserable by a man may be true.
Oh, you gods! Is yon despised and ruinous man my lord? Full of decay and failing? Oh, monument and wonder of good deeds evilly bestowed. What an alteration of honor has desperate want made? What viler thing upon the earth than friends? Who can bring noblest minds to basest ends? How rarely does it meet with this time's guise, when man was wished to love his enemies? Grant I may ever love and rather woo those that would mischief me than those that do. Has caught me in the eye. I will present my honest grief unto him, and as my Lord will serve him with my life. My dearest master!
Away, what art thou?
Have you forgot me, sir?
Why dost thou ask that? I forgot all men. Then, if thou grantest thou art a man, I have forgot thee.
An honest, poor servant of yours.
Then I know thee not. I never had honest man about me. All I kept were knaves to serve in meat to villains.
The gods are witness. Ne'er did poor Stuart wear a truer grief for his undone lord than my eyes for you.
What, dost thou weep? Come nearer then. I love thee, because thou art a woman, and disclaimest flinty mankind, whose eyes do never give but thorough lust and laughter. Pity sleeping. Strange times that weep with laughing, not with weeping.
I beg of you to know me, good my lord, to accept my grief, and whilst this poor wealth lasts, to entertain me as your steward still.
Had I a steward so true, so just, and now so comfortable, it almost turns my dangerous nature mild. Let me behold thy face. Surely this man was born of woman. Forgive my general and acceptless rashness, you perpetual sober gods. I do proclaim one honest man. Mistake me not, but one. No more, I pray. And he's a steward. How fain would I have hated all mankind, and thou redeemest thyself. But all, save thee, I fell with curses. Methinks thou art more honest now than wise. For by oppressing and betraying me, thou mightst have sooner got another service. For many so arrive at second masters upon their first lord's neck. But tell me true, for must I ever doubt, though ne'er so sure, is not thy kindness subtle, covetous, a usuring kindness, and as rich men deal gifts, expecting in return 20 for 1?
No, my most worthy master, in whose breast doubt and suspect, alas, are placed too late. You should have feared false times when you did feast. Suspect still comes where an estate is least. That which I show, heaven knows, is merely love, duty and zeal to your unmatched mind. Care of your food and living, and believe it my most honored lord, for any benefit that points to me either in hope or present, I'd exchange for this one wish, that you had power and wealth to requite me by making yourself rich.
Look thee, 'tis so. Thou singly honest man. Here, take. The gods out of my misery has sent thee treasure. Go, live rich and happy, but thus conditioned. Thou shalt build for men. Hate all, curse all, show charity to none, but let the famished flesh slide from the bone ere thou relieve the beggar. Give to dogs what thou deniest to men. Let prisons swallow 'em, debts wither unto nothing. Be men like blasted woods, and may diseases lick up their false bloods, and so farewell and thrive.
Oh, let me stay and comfort you, my master.
If thou hatest curses, stay not. Fly while thou art blessed and free. Ne'er see thou man, and let me ne'er see thee.
Act 5, Scene 1. The woods before Timon's cave. Enter the poet and the painter.
As I took note of this place, it cannot be far where he abides.
What's to be thought of him? Does the rumor hold for true that he's so full of gold?
Certain. Alcibiades reports that Phrygia and Timandra had gold of him. He likewise enriched poor struggling soldiers with great quantity, 'tis said he gave unto his steward a mighty sum.
Then this breaking of his has been but a try for his friends?
Nothing else. You shall see him a palm in Athens again, and flourish with the highest. Therefore, 'tis not amiss we tender our loves to him in this supposed distress of his. It will show honestly in us, and very likely to load our purposes with what they travail for, if it be a just and true report that goes of his having.
What have you now to present unto him?
Nothing at this time but my visitation, only I will promise him an excellent piece.
I must serve him so too. Tell him of an intent that's coming toward him.
Good is the best. Promising is the very air of the time. It opens the eyes of expectation. Performance is ever the duller for this act, but in the plainer and simpler kind of people, the deed of saying is quite of use. To promise is most courtly and fashionable. Performance is a kind of will or testament which argues a great sickness in his judgment that makes it.
Excellent workman. Thou canst not paint a man so bad as is thyself.
I am thinking what I shall say I have provided for him. It must be a personating of himself, a satire against the softness of prosperity, with a discovery of the infinite flatteries that follow youth and opulency.
Must thou needs stand for a villain in thine own work? Wilt thou whip thine own faults in other men? Do so. I have gold for thee.
Nay, let's seek him. Then we do sin against our own estate, when we may profit meet and...
True. When the day serves before black-cornered night, find what thou want'st by free and offered light. Come.
I'll meet you at the turn. What a god's gold that he is worshipped in a baser temple than where swine feed. 'Tis thou that riggest the bark and ploughst the foam, settlest admired reverence in a slave. To thee be worship, and thy saints for aye be crowned with plagues, and that thee alone obey. Fit, I meet them.
Hail, worthy Timon!
Our late noble master.
Have I once lived to see two honest men?
Sir, having often of your open bounty tasted, hearing you were retired, your friends fallen off, whose thankless natures, abhorred spirits, not all the whips of heaven are large enough. What to you, whose star-like nobleness gave life and influence to their whole being? I am rapt and cannot cover the monstrous bulk of this ingratitude with any size of words.
Let it go naked. Men may see it the better. You that are honest, by being what you are, make them best seen and known.
He and myself have travailed in the great shower of your gifts, and sweetly felt it.
Aye, you are honest men.
We are hither come to offer you our service.
Most honest men. What? How shall I requite you? Can you eat roots and drink cold water? No.
What we can do, we'll do to do you service.
We'll do to your service.
You're honest men. You've heard that I have gold. I'm sure you have. Speak truth. You're honest men.
So it is said, noble lord, but therefore came not my friend nor I.
Good. Honest men. Thou drawest a counterfeit, best in all Athens. Thou art indeed the best. Thou counterfeitst most lively.
So, my lord.
E'en so, sir, as I say. And for thy fiction, why, thy verse swells with stuff so fine and smooth that thou art even natural in thine art. But for all this, my honest-natured friends, I must needs say you have a little fault. Marry, 'tis not monstrous in you, neither wish I you take much pains to mend.
Beseech your honor to make it known to us.
You'll take it ill.
Most thankfully, my lord.
Will you indeed?
Doubt it not, worthy lord.
Oh, there's never a one of you but trusts a knave that mightily deceives you.
Do we, my lord?
Aye. And you hear him cog, see him dissemble, know his gross patchery, love him, feed him, keep him in your bosom, yet remain assured that he's a made-up villain.
I know none such, my lord.
Nor I.
Look you, I love you well. I'll give you gold. Rid me these villains from your companies. Hang them, or stab them. Drown them in a draught, confound them by some course, and come to me. I'll give you gold enough.
Name them, my lord. Let's know them.
Well, you that way, and you this, but two in company. Each man apart, all single and alone, yet an arch-villain keeps him company. Where thou art, two villains shall not be. Come not near him. If thou wouldst not reside but where one villain is, then him abandon. Hence, pack! There's gold. You came for gold, you slaves. You have work for me. There's payment, hence. You are an alchemist. Make gold of that. Out, rascal dogs!
It is vain that you would speak with Timon, for he is set only to himself, that nothing but himself, which looks like man, is friendly to him.
Bring us to his cave. It is our part and promise to the Athenians to speak with Timon.
At all times alike men are not still the same. 'Twas time and griefs that framed him thus. Time, with his fairer hand, offering the fortunes of his former days, the former man may make him. Bring us to him, and chance it as it may.
Here is his cave. Shh. Peace and content be here. Lord Timon! Timon! Look out and speak to friends. The Athenians, by two of their most revered senate, greet thee. Speak to them, noble Timon.
The sun that comforts, burn! Speak and be hanged! For each true word a blister, and each false be as cauterizing to the root of the tongue, consuming it with speaking.
Worthy Timon.
Of none but such as you, and you of Timon.
The senators of Athens greet thee, Timon.
Well, I thank them, and send them back the plague, could I but catch it for them.
Oh, forget. What we are sorry for ourselves in thee. The senators with one constant love entreat thee back to Athens, who have thought on special dignities which vacant lie for thy best use and wearing.
They confess toward thee forgetfulness too general gross, which now the public body, which doth seldom play the recanter, feeling in itself a lack of Timon's aid, hath sense withal of it own fall, restraining aid to Timon, and send forth us to make their sorrowed render, together with a recompense more fruitful than their offense can weigh down by the dram. Aye, even such heaps and sums of love and wealth as shall to thee blot out what wrongs were theirs, and write in the figures of their love ever to read them thine.
You itch me in it. Surprise me to the very brink of tears. Lend me a fool's heart and a woman's eyes, and I'll beweep these comforts, worthy senators.
Therefore, so please thee return with us, and of our Athens, thine and ours to take the captain's ship. Thou shalt be met with thanks, allowed with absolute power, and thy good name live with authority. So soon shall we drive back Alcibiades that approaches wild, who like a boar too savage doth root up his country's peace.
And shakes his threatening sword against the walls of Athens.
Therefore, Timon.
Well, sir, I will. Therefore, I will, sir, thus. If Alcibiades kill my countrymen, let Alcibiades know this of Timon, that Timon cares not. But if he sack fair Athens and take our goodly aged men by the beards, giving our holy virgins to the stain of contumelious, beastly, mad-brained war, then let him know, and tell him Timon speaks it in pity of our aged and our youth. I cannot choose but tell him that I care not. And let him take it worst. For their knives care not, while you have throats to answer. For myself, there's not a whittle in the unruly camp, but I do prize it at my love before the reverend throat in Athens. So I leave you to the protection of the prosperous gods, as thieves to keepers.
Stay not, all's in vain.
Why? I was writing of my epitaph. It will be seen tomorrow. My long sickness of health and living now begins to mend, and nothing brings me all things. Go, live still. Be Alcibiades your plague, you his, and last so long enough.
We speak in vain.
But yet I love my country, and am not one that rejoices in the common rack, as common Bruit doth put it.
That's well spoke.
Commend me to my loving countrymen.
These words become your lips as they pass through them.
And enter in our ears like great triumphers in their applauding gates.
Commend me to them, and tell them that, to ease them of their griefs, their fears of hostile strokes, their aches, losses, their pangs of love with other incident throes, that nature's fragile vessel does sustain in life's uncertain voyage, I will some kindness do them. I'll teach them to prevent wild Alcibiades' wrath.
I like this well. He will return again.
I have a tree, which grows here in my close, that mine own use invites me to cut down, and shortly must I fell it. Tell my friends, tell Athens, in the sequence of degree from high to low throughout, that whoso please to stop affliction, let him take his haste. Come hither, ere my tree hath felt the axe, and hang himself. I pray you, do my greeting.
Trouble him no further. Thus you shall find him still.
Come not to me again, but say to Athens, Timon hath made his everlasting mansion upon the beached verge of the salt flood, who once a day with his embossed froth the turbulent surge shall cover. Thither come, and let my gravestone be your oracle. Lips, let 4 words go by and language end. What is amiss? Plague and infection mend. Graves only be men's works, and death their gain. Sun, hide thy beams. Timon hath done his reign.
His discontents are unremovably coupled to nature.
Our hope in him is dead. Let us return and strain what other means is left unto us in our dear peril.
It requires swift foot.
Act 5, Scene 2. Before the walls of Athens. Enter 2 senators with a messenger.
Thou hast painfully discovered, are his files as full as thy report?
I have spoke the least. Besides, his expedition promises present approach.
We stand much hazard if they bring not Timon.
I met a courier, one mine ancient friend, whom, though in general part we were opposed, yet our old love made a particular force, and made us speak like friends. This man was riding from Alcibiades to Timon's cave with letters of entreaty which imported his fellowship in the cause against your city, in part for his sake moved.
Here come our brothers.
No talk of Timon, nothing of him expect. The enemy's drum is heard, and fearful scouring doth choke the air with dust. In and prepare. Ours is the fall. I fear our foe the snare.
Act 5, Scene 3. A crude gravesite near Timon's cave. Enter a soldier seeking Timon.
By all descriptions, this should be the place. Who's here? Speak, ho! No answer. What's this? Timon is dead, who hath outstretched his span. Some beast read this, there does not live a man. Dead sure. And this his grave. What's on this tomb I cannot read. The character I'll take with wax. Our captain hath in every figure skill, an aged interpreter, though young in days. Before proud Athens he sat down by this, whose fall the mark of his ambition is.
Act 5, Scene 4. Before the walls of Athens. Enter Alcibiades with his army.
Sound to this coward and lascivious town our terrible approach. Till now you have gone on and filled the time with all licentious measure, making your wills the scope of justice. Till now myself and such as slept within the shadow of your power have wandered with our traversed arms and breathed our sufferance vainly. Now the time is flush, when crouching marrow and the bearer strong cries of itself, no more! Now breathless wrong shall sit and pant in your great chairs of ease, and pursy insolence shall break his wind with fear and horrid flight.
Noble and young, when thy first griefs were but a mere conceit, ere thou hadst power or we had cause of fear, we sent to thee to give thy rages balm, to wipe out our ingratitude with loves above their quantity.
So did we woo transformed Timon to our city's love, by humble message and by promised means. We were not all unkind, nor all deserve the common stroke of war.
These walls of ours were not erected by their hands from whom you have received your grief, nor are they such that these great towers, trophies, and schools should fall for private faults in them.
Nor are they living who were the motives that you first went out. Shame that they wanted cunning, in excess hath broke their hearts. March, noble lord, into our city with thy banners spread. By decimation and a tithed death, if thy revenge is hunger for that food which nature loathes, take thou the destined 10th, and by the hazard of the spotted die, let die the spotted.
All have not offended. For those that were, it is not square to take on those that are. Revenge. Crimes, like lands, are not inherited. Then, dear countryman, bring in thy ranks, but leave without thy rage. Spare thy Athenian cradle and those kin which, in the bluster of thy wrath, must fall with those that have offended. Like a shepherd, approach the fold and cull the infected forth, but kill not all together.
What thou wilt, thou rather shalt enforce it with thy smile, than hew to it with thy sword.
Set but thy foot against our rampired gates, and they shall ope. But thou wilt send thy gentle heart before us to stay thou, it'll enter friendly.
Throw thy glove or any token of thine honor else, that thou wilt use the wars as thy redress, and not as our confusion. All thy powers shall make their harbor in our town till we have sealed thy full desire.
Then there's my glove. Descend and open your uncharged ports. Those enemies of Timon's and mine own, whom you yourselves shall set out for reproof, fall, and no more. And to atone your fears with my more noble meaning, not a man shall pass his quarter or offend the stream of regular justice in your city's bounds, but shall be remedied to your public laws at heaviest answer.
'Tis most nobly spoken.
Descend and keep your words.
A noble general? Timon is dead, entombed upon the very hem of the sea. And on his gravestone this in sculpture, which with wax I brought away, whose soft impression interprets for my poor ignorance.
Here lies a wretched corse, of wretched soul bereft. Seek not my name. A plague consume you, wicked caitiffs left. Here lie I, Timon, who, alive, all living men did hate. Pass by and curse thy fill, but pass and stay not here thy gate. These well express in thee thy latter spirits. Though thou abhorrest in us our human griefs, scornst our brains' flow, and those are droplets which from niggard nature fall, yet rich conceit taught thee to make vast Neptune weep for aye on thy low grave, on faults forgiven. Dead is noble Timon, of whose memory hereafter more. Bring me into your city, and I will use the olive with my sword. Make war breed peace, make peace stint war, make each prescribe to other as each other's leech. Let our drums strike.
We hope you enjoyed our reading of Timon of Athens. Let's welcome back our players, Jason Rennie, Christopher Carbo, Taylor Marr, Ron Dorn, Megan Wells, John Eddings, Mark Tracy, Emily Redmond Hall, Elise Ashton, and Dave Dempsey. Join us next time for The Winter's Tale.